We are live, sir.
All right, okay.
So, sir, wait 5 minutes. We are just intro and give the intro for yourself.
Sure.
So, very good morning to all of you who have joined this valedictory lecture for the 2-week refresher course in statistics. It is indeed a great privilege and honor to welcome our speaker of the day, Professor Kuldeep Kumar from Bond University, Gold Coast, Australia. Professor Kumar did his PhD from the University of Kent at Kentbury and has taught the Christian College, Indian Institute of Management, Lucknow, and National University of Singapore before joining the Bond University, Australia in 1993. His current research interests are in the areas of bankruptcy prediction, fraud detection, money laundering, statistical modeling and forecasting, machine learning, big data mining, bioinformatics, breast cancer detection, and many more. Professor Kumar is the fellow of Royal Statistical Society since 1984 and a chartered statistician. Recently, Sir was awarded the status of characters scientist by the Science Council of United Kingdom. Professor Kumar is the winner of several awards, including the Commonwealth Fellowship, Commission of European Countries Postdoc Fellowship, Young Statistician Award of the International Statistical Institute, which is given to 3 young statisticians in the whole world every 2 years, Bond Oxford Fellowship, and Vice Chancellor's Quality Award for the Research Supervisions. Dr. Kumar is also the winner of several Teaching Excellence Awards and Research Excellence Awards. He also won the Lecture of the Year Award and many Best Research Paper Awards. Dr. Kumar has been involved also in various community-based projects using statistics like Surf Life Saving Safety Detection, Farmers Suicide in India, Climate Change, Women's Participation in Science, Family Welfare, Seaward, and many more. Dr. Kumar has published more than 125 research papers in the international refereed journals, conference proceedings, 11 chapters in the book, 30 book reviews for the Royal Conference. Dr. Kumar has keynote speakers, invited speakers, and chaired sessions in several national and international conferences. Dr. Kumar has supervised many masters and PhD students in this statistical area. Sir has received several research grants in this area. His papers are well cited in many journals and books. So thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation. Now, Zoom see you now.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ashish, for your generous introduction. I think being a statistician, I think is a very important topic. Teaching statistics online, some challenges and opportunities. So what happened when the COVID started, that was 2020, we were about, we knew that this problem is going to come. So we don't want to disrupt the studies or anything. So for one semester, we were asked to teach all the subject online. And in fact, we were not ready. So there were a lot of challenges at that time, how to design the assessment, how to design the question papers, how to teach using without any whiteboard or writing equation or anything like that. So the challenges came, but then we fought all these challenges. We got something called the iLearn. I'll show you. Using that, we started the PowerPoint presentation, labs, Excel labs. We put the assessment, and I'll show you how we write the assessment and the in statistics. Because in other subjects, it's not a big problem. You can teach without any white blackboard or anything. But in statistics, we need to write on the blackboard. We need a lot of equations, and we always want interaction with the students and all those things. So it was very challenging to develop the teaching statistics online. And I think this is a very important topic for you people, some challenges and opportunities. So a lot of opportunities also were there. Now, the problem was when the COVID, for one semester, we were not supposed to go out. But after that, we started the hybrid mode. Hybrid mode is something like the students are in the class, like I took the class right now, but there are also students online. So both are listening to my lecture. They can ask the question, and we have to respond to the questions, the answers to these students. Now, this has become the new normal. Now, I don't think we will ever go back to face-to-face teaching, because what is happening, we are getting a lot of students from Canada, America, Japan, India, and all those places, and they don't want to come to uni, but university is getting the fees. And that's a very important thing. All the universities in Australia, they rely heavily on the overseas students. And the overseas students, sometimes they are unable to come, they are in their own country. So we have to run the courses like that. Those students who can come to the campus, they can come and attend the classes. And those who want, they can attend online. But the problem came, do you know what happened? That when we started this in the first semester, after the COVID stopped in the September semester, the first day, there are a lot of students in the class. And of course, there are overseas students and there are online students also there. But then these students thought that when the lecture is online, why should I come to the class? Let's sit at our home. And they started listening to the lecture from the home. And the worst part was the lectures were recorded. So they thought, oh, why should we go at that time from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock in the morning? Lecture is being anyway recorded, so we'll listen to the lecture later on. So all these problems came, and we tried to solve those problems, like the group discussions or you have to answer the question, class participation, and those kind of things to make sure that the students are there either in the class or online, rather than, they can, of course, listen to the lecture. That is the best advantage of teaching online, that everything is being recorded, and then they can listen to their own time, or they can listen repeatedly. If they are unable to, something is not very clear, they can always go back and they can listen to the lecture and they can clarify the doubt and they can always ask the question. So as I said, with the exceptional development in technology, internet, cloud computing and computing facilities, like education delivery scenario is changing very quickly. And that's a near normal. All the universities in the world, I think they are going in the hybrid mode, and soon they'll be only online, it seems like. I'm not very sure. The traditional chalkboard method has become more or less obsolete, consistent with our daily routines that rely more or less on the electronic devices, because these days students always have the mobile phone and the other devices in their hand. Both academic staff and students are relying more on the electronic learning. Now, it is claimed that blended learning is the present and the future of the education, but there is no clear-cut definition of the blended learning. So what we try to do, because online learning could be also very boring, so we try to put some videos, we try to put some Excel, and we try to make it as interesting as possible. Now, this was a big challenge for the statistics, because how to make it, statistics is a very boring and dry subject. Students usually don't like this subject. They try to escape. And the question is how to develop the interest in those things. So what we tried the different combination of the technologies, such as the videos, audios, and to accomplish the goal. We use the different pedagogical approaches, such as behaviorism and cognitive, and to combine any form of the instrument technology with face-to-face instruction. Now, what are the blended learning? So blended learning is basically, you've got I think everybody uses the PowerPoint, which is not a big problem, but you can use the other sources as well in the teaching, like you can use the Excel, you can use your mobile telephone, you can ask the students some question, and then you can ask them, okay, how many people think that the answer is, this one is correct? So they take out the mobile phone, and based on that, they give the answer. Now, PowerPoint is, of course, over there, but now you can see all the lectures in the YouTube, right? Right now, I was teaching decision tree, and SPSS, in the YouTube, very good lecture is by Leo Bremen on the how to use a decision tree on the SPSS. So I put that video, it's a 5 minutes video, but it's very encouraging. And I put the video over there, and the students, they got distracted in the sense that they're listening from this one. It's very interesting kind of thing they have done. So I'll show you some video which our students have put, and how that could be useful. Now, learning management system, like there are quite a few blended learning tools have come, which we get from the teaching and learning. But what I find in the statistical learning is basically that is the traditional PowerPoint, but you need a smart laptop. So we used to get a pen, where you can write on the screen. That is, otherwise you can't teach statistics. So I taught also business mathematics and statistics quantitative method and the other courses, but I need a pen on the smartphone where I can write my equation. Whenever I want, I can make a picture, I can make a normal distribution, I can show them. how to find the probability that X is greater than certain value, or how to find the probability that X is between certain values, and all those kind of things. So a smart laptop with a pen, that helped me a lot in replacing the blackboard and or the chalk and the blackboard, or you can say whiteboard. But then the problems came because, and we can save that whatever we are doing on the paper, and we can save it and put it back on the iLearn and use that one. So there are quite a few collaborative platforms were there. I don't know which platform you people are using, but we are using one thing like the iLearn. So let me share the screen if I can, where actually my iLearn is there. I don't need. Why they are showing me all this? No, I don't want that. I'm already in a meeting. It's taking me somewhere else. Let's go back here. Why it's not allowing me to share the screen? That's very unusual. It's not allowing me to share the screen.
So your screen is visible, but your lecture is not there.
Ah, right. Okay, so can you see the screen?
Okay.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah, yes, your screen is visible to us.
All right, okay. So what we did, we started with the, we tried to put all the lectures, like the lecture content you can see, but something like we tried to do, like you can see the binomial and the Poisson distribution, uniform, exponential, normal. But like if I go here, then I can show you that we tried to put some of the things like the light board solution, where actually if you don't want to write using this one, I'll show you how it works. So this is just, I asked one of the students to create a video how to calculate the normal distribution. Right, so
we have our normal distribution with our mean of 494, and we have the number of interest of 700. More than that, we're going to hire anyone who gets a score above 700 on our test.
this for a question.
So we want this region on the right. Now, how do we do this? Because Excel says, no, you can't do that. I can only give you the region to the left. And if we look at that, remember the region to the left would be all of this information. So how do we get to blue? Well, if we started off with 100%, so that would be a 1, and then subtracted that green area, which is, how would we do it in Excel? We've learned the formula is norm is. So we give that the 700. And we fill out the rest of the information, the standard deviation, and follow the rest of the Excel formula as it tells us. So once again, to get the probability of being greater than a certain value, which is we're hiring everyone with a score of greater than 700, we get everything that's 1 minus the probability of being less than that value. So we have another normal distribution question. So without knowing any more information, I'm going to draw my normal curve. Now we add in the additional information we know. The mean is 494. Now let's look at what is this question asking us for. And it said it's asking us for the score that only 10% of people will get better than. We're only going to hire people in the top 10%. So my top 10% must be somewhere over here. And again, this question, what's this value? What's the unknown? So we immediately think, well, that's that reverse question. So I know it must be norm in. But what does norm inverse in Excel want? It wants the probability less than. But what's here? The probability greater than a number. So what we need to give Excel is all of this region. That's what needs to feed in here. Now the whole region must be 1. And if there's 10% up here, then the rest of it is 1 minus the 10%. So that's your 0.9. And your 0.9 goes in here. And then everything else is the same. 494 for the mean and 100 for the standard deviation, and you're away. So the key with this question is really understanding how to change the 10% into the probability less than. The information in Excel, that's the easy part. Visualizing it, understanding it, that's where you add value.
Right. So basically, we put all the lectures on the PowerPoint, and actually, when we go to the lecture, we can use the pen and we can explain the things over there. Similarly, with the labs, we put it on the Excel. So, for example, week 1 lab, I mean, we've got the Excel questions, and we just show them. For example, these are the solutions which we have got here. So we just right. So all the questions and the solutions are there, and so yeah, what's the mean, median, mode? How that's the very first lecture. How to calculate the new ball and the old ball for this one, and histogram. How to draw the cumulative frequencies and all those kind of things, which actually we did on during the lab, step by step, and we asked all the students to do it. So we give the time to them. First of all, you have to do it, and then we take a round and just make sure that everybody is doing, and then we ask suddenly the questions. So what's the probability? What's the minimum? And then we look at the class participation that they are doing, I mean, the things over there. So virtually, the lectures and labs were easy. The challenge came how to do the assessment. And the assessment was a big problem because overseas, I mean, the students, online students, although they can copy, I mean, they can ask somebody from health and they can do it. And if even with the students who are on the campus, if they are sitting somewhere else, then they can consult with each other or they can copy the answers and all that. Fortunately, Australia is a very nice place in the sense that the students usually don't copy from each other. I can give you one example. In my class, their husband and wife both were studying, the boyfriend and the girlfriend. They used to stay in the same house. We used to give the problem. You will never see they have copied from each other. They will do on their own. And one will do the mistake, the other is fine. So they never consulted each other because we have told it is yours. I mean, individual assignment, you're not supposed to consult each other. So in that way, it was good. But still, what we did, like we went to the assessment and we put the random questions. For example, the quiz. So let me see the homework here. So we have 4 quiz and we ask the student, for example, you go to the homework quiz 1 and we randomize the question. So there are 6 questions in the pool, rather 9, 10, 11, 12. And each, you can see that there are 6 questions over here. So one of the 6 questions in this pool are displayed randomly to a student. So even if you are sitting next to each other, you can't be sure. I mean, the answer maybe, the question may be different. And you have to answer these questions. And then you have to answer, after the answer, we'll give you the feedback. So this is one question and we will ask them A, B, C, D, and then we give the automatic feedback and we give the marks to them and it's automatically marked and out of 100, the marks will come. The good thing was that the student tried and we gave them the 2 attempts. So you can do the, there are various possible ways over here. So you can have the 2 attempts, you can get the best marks. So like 2 attempts, attempt with the highest marks will be counted. And sometime we give them the limited time. You have to do it in 1 hour. And sometime we give them the unlimited time. Okay, you can take it home and you can do whatever you like. So enable safe assign. And other projects, we use the Turnitin that should make sure that plagiarism is not there. But that was a good thing. Similarly, with the exam, we took the multiple exams. Of course, that increased our workload, but we got the help from the tutors and all that. So, for example, we have got the midterm exam or the final exam, and then we asked the students to, there are several versions of the exam. So they can do the, we change the data, we change the questions, and we randomize it. So virtually, it is not, there's a very limited probability that 2 students will have the similar kind of marks or the grades. I mean, the similar kind of questions or the grade, that probability is very, very small. And also we have the, and they can submit the assignment online, and we used to mark it online, and we give them the feedback, and we post the solution of the Excel-based exam, and they can answer any question. They can challenge us, or if there's any problem, they can always come back. So there was the Blackboard Collaborate, where actually you can go to the subject room, and you can talk with the students, and you can do whatever you like. You can post any assignments, and in the books and tools, we try to book all the supplementary materials, the additional resources which are available, and of course, we manage the question bank. And so that way we try to, there are a few challenges over there, but we try to overcome those challenges by creating the new opportunities. And actually, we learned a lot in that way. So the blended learning is one thing which we people should try, because these days there are a lot of videos available on the different topics, and that is very interesting. Actually, we can't create that in the classroom. So it could be, I mean, you can put it like Lightboard was one of the tools which we have got, and you can use the Lightboard. So basically, we give the basic information, introduction, subject outline, contact and support. And then later on, we went to the content, so lecture, tutorial. We put all the subject recording, and we gave them the resource list, discussion board, or virtual classroom where they can discuss. We also have the assessment, and then we put all the policies like plagiarism policy and all that, academic integrity, academic regulations, and those kind of things. So there are various tools available. Some universities have mandated minimum blended learning requirement in official policy. For example, there must be some video content on a Blackboard site to support all face-to-face teaching. This reinforces the point made earlier about the value of the diverse learning experiences. It does, however, raise issues about whether mandating consistency among the blended learning resources is beneficial to the students who will be exposed to a variety of circumstances in their working career. So more research is needed to uncover the answer. The authors suspect that exposing students to variety at university helps to prepare students for the variety they will face at the work. Hence, there's a delicate balance between ensuring blended learning resources by the educators and leaving enough flexibility for educators to choose that works best in their own content area. So although there are many blended learning tools that have originated in the last 2 decades, evaluating the quality of the blended learning experience is not an easy job, as tools and technologies only support part of the learning process. You need to reinforce blended learning, especially in a subject like statistics. There are many technical aspects, but you have to look at from the student perception and the learning environment and how successfully it supports the student learning. So blended learning also brings challenges to the educators as well as to the students, as both of them require advanced digital skill to deliver and receive the subject material. But these days, with the advancement of the mobile telephones, everybody is having there's not a big problem, and they have access to all these tools. Much of work has been done by computer and technology against the human intelligence, but you need the proper assessment. Like initially they said that because it is not possible, so we can leave the assessment, we can only have the quiz or the homework, but that was not possible. We need the exams, like a subject like statistics, to test the knowledge of the students. So educators should be informed that blended learning tools available and make use of them to complement, not replace their existing teaching practices. So yeah, we're not asking somebody to replace whatever they teach, but they can include that in the process. Like any data model, teaching style should be regularly evaluated and modified accordingly so that learning efforts are being used in ways that enhances the student learning experience. A lot of work is being done in that area, and quite a few tools have come up which enforces the blended learning. And in that way, we have seen that the students are more happy in the sense that especially when the lecture is recorded or the assessment is done online, and they can sit in the exam from their own comfort. They don't have to come to the early in the morning to the university or when it is cold or something. Like right now, the Australia, we have very cold weather. It's only 5 degrees centigrade outside. I'm sitting in the classroom, so I'm much better. But otherwise, it's a bit torturous for the student to come to the uni when it's raining and all those kind of things. But of course, the teaching using the Blackboard has its own advantage. You get one-to-one interaction, face-to-face interaction is something different, which you get in the online teaching. But we try to emulate or we try to simulate that kind of experience using the online teaching. So I don't know what could be the future, but it seems like blended, the hybrid model is the future of the teaching and learning in the next decade. And slowly, I'm not sure face-to-face teaching may vanish, in the sense that quite a few universities are putting the courses on the Coursera, which are very, very advanced courses and very nicely depicted courses, which could be very good. But otherwise, you have to design your own courses in such a way that you can give the content to the student, and the challenge could be how to examine them. So giving the content is one thing, but examining whether how much they have grasped, that could be another thing. And for that, we found that the online quizzes and the like we randomize it, and the Excel-based exams, or especially for in the context of statistics, that works very well. So they can online, they can take up the download the exam, they can do it, and they have to submit it within 1 hour, 40 minutes, or how much time is given to them. Of course, the challenges sometimes we face that the technology is not working very well. So it's like I have a student in India who was doing my course, and he told me that suddenly there was a blackout and he lost whatever work he has done in the Excel file. I mean, I can't verify from here. I mean, but we tell the student to keep on saving the file on the desktop so that even if there's a blackout, you can always retrieve back and you immediately tell us if there's any problem. Otherwise, it should be there should not be any problem. So teaching statistics online is a big challenge. And of course, there are certain opportunities for that one. I think the new tools will come up, which will be much better, or we can use those tools in a much nicer way to communicate our subjects to the statistics. I still remember that quite a few nice books have come, and all these books are available online, where actually we have the subject which was very boring, like statistics. We used to learn, for example, what is the Bayes theorem, or state and prove the Bayes theorem. Now that kind of problem could be good for a student who is doing wants to go in the statistics class. I mean, the statistics mainstream. But if a student is doing management or doing the other discipline, that's absolutely useless, because they need to know the application of the Bayes theorem rather than the proof of the Bayes theorem. So because I'm teaching a management school, like I've taught in the IM and I'm teaching in a management school, so we try to tell them how to apply these tools and techniques. But for a statistics major students, of course, they need to prove how the estimator is unbiased or consistent or efficient or sufficient, and all those kind of proofs they need to give. But otherwise, we just use the estimator and we can use that. So challenge is there on that side, that when you teach the theoretical statistics, how you can teach. I mean, of course, you can use the pen and the smart laptop to do all the whatever you used to do. But how to make it interesting, that could be one of the challenges. I'm not sure how to do that, because that could be one problem. Of course, the other challenge is the assessment. So for statistics courses especially, that how to assess the students so that they may not cheat, first thing. And I mean, basically, that could be done by randomization of the questions, or the, like I've showed you on the quiz, I mean, which we have done. Each question has got 6 or 8 different kind of questions, similar one, and then they can do that. Otherwise, I don't have anything else to say. Anything else? Any questions? Anything? Can you share your experiences or anything?
No, sir. In the chat box, there is no question about your lecture.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So participants are just, you can ask your question to write in YouTube chat. If you have any query about your lecture, you can ask through the YouTube chat.
Okay. Yep.
So just we wait for the 2 minutes. If there is any question, sure, then I'll let you know.
Right. Okay, good. So are you hybrid mode, or you are teaching face-to-face these days?
This is in a hybrid mode, sir.
All right. Okay.
So no question from participant side.
All right. Okay, good. Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
So thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation and delivering a wonderful talk. I hope it is very fruitful for the participants. If there is any query, then I'll send it to the mail.
Yeah, sure.
Participant can ask the theory through the mail also. If you have any reference material, you can share to me. I will share with the participants.
All right. Okay, good. I've written a paper on the how to improve teaching using blended learning. Maybe I'll send you that paper, so you'll have some idea what are the various tools, blended learning tools are available, and how to use that. Yeah, good. Okay, thank you, Ashish.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. No problem.
See you
okay.
soon.